You wanna ride on my wave just because it's fun. You wanna be in my space, too close to the sun, don't seem to care if it's safe. Well, that makes two of us. I'm so insane, and you like it. But you haven't seen anything yet. Now you're just beginning your trip to regrets. You might think you know me, but soon you forget. I'm too insane, and you know it. You got to learn to like me again and again, 'cause I will make you love me again and again. Just when you think you love me, you'll think again, 'cause I will make you hate me again and again.
Channel, everyone. I am K Crime. You are watching the Burn Barrel Show. And today I want to talk about the tree trimmers and the linemen. These are two groups of people, two crews that were out there on Ben Hill Road on June 15th when Summer went missing. And I don't feel like we should disregard them. I think they're worth looking into. Law enforcement said that everybody is a suspect. Nobody is cleared. Nobody's cleared. So this whole time, for some reason, people think the tree trimmers are off limits. They're not off limits for me. They're not off limits for me. And if you know me and you know my show, I don't care. I don't care who it offends. I don't care if I offend somebody or hurt somebody's feelings. We're talking about a missing child. And we're talking about people that were there that day the child went missing. If those people aren't man enough to step up and say something about that day or something, you know, what happened, or if they saw something, you know, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. That's what I do. First, I'm going to play a video, and this video is there's some clips from Ziggy's interview with them, and there's also some research that I did. Not heavy research, because there's not much I can get into, not much I could find on things, but a little bit of stuff. So I'm going to play this video, and I hope that...
No, we didn't know nothing about it until we come back to work the next morning.
You guys at work crew saw Summer the morning.
Yeah, I was over there at like 5. That's before you started, wasn't it? No, I worked that outage. When you hit that guy one, it was the same day.
So,
yeah. It was actually an outage that day. I worked the repair, the beard. He was the one working over there most of the day. I think it was like later part, like after lunch, he was over there.
So you're guys.
So they said the guy with the beard was there most of the day, even in
we
the
were down
afternoon?
there past her house. I think she lives on the Ben Hill Road.
Uh-huh.
We were down past it, and there's like a gravel entrance, and we had an incident there. Went and cut the line back in.
Okay, so
And, they did send us in there, but it was just turning the trucks around.
yeah.
So this is some of the area where the tree trimmers were. And these are the areas that they cleared that day. The one guy said that they pulled into like a gravel parking area, drive area. And this is still the Wells property here. I don't know why he said at first they weren't on the Wells property when they were.
This is his old truck and everything. I got his truck now. No, he transferred.
So I went through and tried to find who the electric company was for that area, and it is Holston Electric Co-op. So this is who supplies the electricity for that area where the Wells live. And then I was looking to see what happens when there's an outage or a down line. Who repairs the down line? Some companies have crews that aren't part of their company fix lines, but I was looking, they have their own linemen. They manage their own lines. So whoever went out there that day on June 15th worked for Holston Electric Co-op. I looked also at the map here. That black line shows the area that they service. Everything within it is their area. And as you see, 110 Ben Hill Road, that little bump right there, that little hill, is in that service area. So that's where they would have been. This is the Facebook page for the Holston Electric Co-op. As you see, they have their own lineman trucks. I was trying to look and see who lived in that area, what linemen live in Rogersville that work that area. I found this guy, but there's a few of them on their page. Also, it shows about 10 different guys. There's about 10 different men who live in the area and work out there in that area. So now we can discuss this. So what you guys think about that? That there is a whole group of people that were there that day that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about these people. For some reason, they seem to be off limits. They're not off limits for me. If you know me, I want to talk about the stuff that nobody else talks about. Because the things that everybody has been talking about seem to lead nowhere. They lead to nothing. Nothing. You know, maybe if we look in a different direction, we might find the answers. That's where I'm going with this. If we look in a different direction, we might find some new leads, some new answers in this. The one thing I did want to talk about was in the very beginning of this case, within the first month, they were looking at the racetrack. Does anyone else remember the racetrack? Law enforcement were looking at the racetrack for summer. And I never understood why they were looking at the racetrack until I started looking at the tree trimmers. And one of the tree trimmers is an avid racer. He's out at the racetrack. He has tons and tons of videos. He's out at that racetrack. There's a reason they were looking there. That guy was a suspect at one time on their list. So law enforcement felt that they had the need to look at the racetrack to see if they found her body somewhere. And somebody made a report about it. Somebody reported about a guy did something to Summer and her body was at the racetrack. I don't know if anyone else remembers this. This was in the very, very beginning of the case. And then to stumble upon this Scott Sanders after I've been looking into these tree trimmers and really looking to him and see that he's not from out of town. These tree trimmers weren't from out of town. If you go in and you look, they're all local. And then the ones that say they're from out of town, they just don't live in Beech Creek. They live in all the little towns around there. It's still all local. still local. It's not far. So, these people need to be looked at. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look at them, and I'm going to try to find out as much information as I can. If anybody else knows me, I'm pretty good at finding out information. I've helped a lot of other people, other creators with finding out information, and I just don't really do that many videos or lives or anything. I'm more of a researcher, and I could build a good video and I can research really well. I'm not very good at the talking, making the video of myself thing very well. But so I'm going to look into these guys, and I'm going to see what I can find out. I'm going to find out about power outages, if there's any archives we could pull up. I've tried, I've looked and looked. There's nothing online that shows outage archives in small outages like this. But I may be able to find it, maybe request a report or ask if they could look up a report on the outage and see who went to that outage that day. Unless law enforcement has told them that they can't say anything, which does happen in some cases. People are told not to talk about things. But if possible, I'm going to see if I could get through to the right people and find out some information. The tree trimmers also, the one thing that they all say is an incident happened that day. Isn't it odd? An incident happened with the tree trimmers that day, and Summer went missing that day. They all had to leave early because power line got down and there was an incident. Yet at the same time that they're leaving is the same time Summer's missing. It's a little odd. There's a lot of coincidence there, and sometimes coincidence lead to answers. So I still really want to look into the tree trimmers. It's a little odd. And then one tree trimmer was still there all day. All the tree trimmers didn't leave. The one guy says in that recording that the guy with the beard, he points over and says, "See the guy with the beard? That guy was there in the afternoon. He was there most of the day in the afternoon." So, somebody was there. I think he was probably there because of the fact the electric company had to come and the linemen had to come to fix a line. Maybe they needed one tree trimmer to stay behind while that happened. I don't know the reasoning why one guy was still there. I mean, it'd be kind of hard to work trimming trees if you're the only one guy. One guy trimming the tree by himself. I think, that's strange that one guy stayed behind and everybody else left. And they all left in a hurry. So that's another point is, something could have happened with them leaving so fast. Everybody leaving, not paying attention. Could she have climbed on some of the equipment, just playing around? They were on her property. It wasn't like she went down the road. They were on their property. Could she have been playing and climbed on some equipment, and when they all loaded up and left, she was on the tractor or something, on a trailer pulled behind a truck? They never saw her. They parked their equipment on Lone Star Road. The guy said that's where they store their equipment at night. They park it on Lone Star Road. Or at least at that time when they were working that area, that's where they were parking it. Could she have somehow then climbed off of the equipment and got lost in that area trying to walk home? It's all pretty rural out there. So could her wandering have started 15 miles from the house? Could she have gotten lost in those hills, walking, trying to find her way home? That's a possibility. It's a possibility with the fact that the dog stops at the end of the road. Her scent leads nowhere after that. There's 2 areas where they find footprints, where her scent was on the footprints, and one of it was down the road on Lone Star Road. Where on Lone Star Road did they park the equipment? Was that the area they parked the equipment? Could it have been the area they parked the equipment? Or was it the other way on Lone Star Road? He doesn't really say where on Lone Star Road they parked the equipment. You know, could those footprints have been her getting off of the equipment? You know, it's just some, you know, there's so many possibilities, You know, they were also down on the men were working that area, down all on that whole area. They were working it. If you look on the map, that's all the Holston area, and they were trimming trees for those lines. So, you know, I'm going to end my video now. I would like to see some of your comments and what you guys think, and I will be making a new video soon with more information about the tree trimmers and more information about the linemen that went out there to fix the downed line that day. One other little point before I go is, if the power was out, how were the boys watching TV and YouTube videos? That's another question I have. If the power was out, how were they doing that? Because you would think they wouldn't have been, the TV wouldn't be able to be turned on if the power was out, unless that account was later after they fixed the power, they were watching the YouTube videos, or previous to the time the power went out. It seems like they hit a line around 3:30. That's when it seems like they hit a line. And everybody packed up and went home, except for one guy with a beard. And then the electric guy. So there's that period between 3:30 and however long it took them to come out there to fix the line, that the power would have been out. But that kind of matches with the timeline where Candace says the boys were in the house watching TV. So if the boys were in the house watching TV with no electricity, maybe. I mean, I did see they do have like a solar panel on their roof. Is that a functioning solar panel? I don't know. I don't know if it's a functioning solar panel. Maybe that's why the TV was able to stay on. But, you know, it sounds like they had a power line down right there by their house. So it would have been like a power line by their house. I would think maybe it would be the power to their house. I'm not sure, but I'm going to look into the power company a little bit more and the tree trimmers a little bit more, and that will be my next video. Thank you for watching. Please like this video so it can get out there, so other people can watch it, because if I don't get a lot of interaction, likes or comments, the video, YouTube doesn't put the video out for everybody to see. But definitely my next video will be on the linemen and the beard guy. Who was the bearded tree trimmer guy? I'm going to try to see if these guys will talk to me. We'll see if they'll talk to me. So like, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.
3:30 of the day. So we didn't know nothing about it until we come back to work the next morning.
You guys' work crew saw some of the morning.
Yeah, I was over there at like 5.
You wanna ride on my wave just because it's fun. You wanna be in my space, too close to the sun, don't seem to care if it's safe. Well, that makes 2 of us. I'm so insane, and you like it. but you haven't seen